World War II didn't begin with a single moment. It wasn't just one decision or one battle. It was the result of rising power, unchecked ambition, and a world that waited too long to react. By the early 1930s, Germany was changing fast. A man named Adolf Hitler had risen to power, promising strength, control, and expansion. He spoke about rebuilding Germany into a dominant force, and this time, he intended to do whatever it took. At first, his moves were subtle. He rebuilt the military. He took control of the government. He removed opposition. And step by step, Germany became stronger, more aggressive, and more dangerous. Then came expansion. In 1938, Germany annexed Austria. Shortly after, it took control of parts of Czechoslovakia. Other countries saw what was happening, but they didn't act. They hoped it would stop. It didn't. Each move made Germany more confident. Each lack of response made the situation worse. Then, everything changed. On the 1st of September 1939, Germany invaded Poland. This was no longer a warning. This was war. Britain and France responded by declaring war on Germany. World War II had begun. But what made this war different was how it was fought. Germany used a strategy called Blitzkrieg, meaning lightning war. Fast-moving tanks, coordinated air attacks, and rapid ground forces overwhelmed entire countries in days. Poland fell quickly. Then Denmark. Then Norway. Then France. Europe was collapsing faster than anyone expected. At the same time, another power was rising in the east. Japan was expanding across Asia, seeking resources and control. The conflict was no longer contained, it was spreading across the world. Then came one of the most shocking moments in history. In 1941, Japan launched a surprise attack on Pearl Harbor. The United States entered the war. Now, it truly was a global conflict. The war that followed was brutal. Cities were bombed. Entire populations were displaced. Millions of lives were lost. And during this time, one of the darkest chapters in human history unfolded: the Holocaust. Millions of innocent people were systematically targeted and killed under Nazi rule. As the war continued, the tide slowly began to turn. Allied forces pushed back. Germany began to lose ground. In 1945, after years of destruction, the war in Europe came to an end. Germany surrendered, but the war wasn't over yet. In the Pacific, fighting continued until the United States dropped atomic bombs on Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Shortly after, Japan surrendered. World War II was finally over. Over 70 million people had died. Entire nations were left in ruins, and the world had changed forever. So what really caused World War II? It wasn't just one invasion. It was the rise of power without limits, the failure to act early, and the belief that conflict could be avoided even when the signs were clear. And by the time the world reacted, it was already too late.